Historical criticism of the Democratic Party. 1. Slavery and the antebellum South, 1800s. In the 19th century, the Democratic Party, particularly its Southern faction, was strongly aligned with the defense of slavery. Many Democratic politicians supported the expansion of slavery into new territories and opposed abolitionist movements. Examples: President James K. Polk, D., led the U.S. into the Mexican-American War, 1846-48, after which the question arose whether slavery should expand into new lands. Stephen A. Douglas, a prominent Democrat, promoted popular sovereignty, allowing territories to vote on slavery, effectively enabling its spread. The Dred Scott decision, 1857, though a Supreme Court ruling, was politically supported by many Democrats. It declared that African Americans were not citizens and that Congress had no power to regulate slavery in the territories. 2. The Civil War and Reconstruction, 1860s, 1870s. During and after the Civil War, Democrats, especially in the South, opposed efforts to reconstruct the South along racially equal lines. Opposition to the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, which abolished slavery, granted citizenship, and protected voting rights for Black Americans, was widespread among Democrats at the time. Redeemer Democrats in the post-war South sought to redeem their governments from Reconstruction policies, often through voter suppression, racial violence, and the restoration of white supremacy. 3. Jim Crow era and segregation, late 1800s, mid-1900s. For decades, Southern Democrats were the architects and enforcers of segregation laws and disenfranchisement of Black voters. Examples: Senator Strom Thurmond, a staunch segregationist, ran for president in 1948 under the breakaway States' Rights Democratic Party, Dixiecrats banner, opposing civil rights. Democratic strongholds in the South enforced literacy tests, poll taxes, and violence to prevent Black Americans from voting. 4. Internment of Japanese Americans, 1942. During World War II, under President Franklin D. Roosevelt, Democrat, over 120,000 Japanese Americans were forcibly relocated and imprisoned in internment camps. While intended as a wartime security measure, it is now widely viewed as a grave violation of civil liberties, based on racial prejudice rather than credible threat. 5. Vietnam War escalation, 1960s. Though the war had bipartisan support early on, President Lyndon B. Johnson, Democrat, escalated the U.S. military involvement in Vietnam dramatically. The Gulf of Tonkin Resolution, 1964, passed under Johnson's administration, gave the president broad war powers without a formal declaration, leading to widespread anti-war protests and loss of public trust. 6. Crime legislation and mass incarceration, 1990s, under President Bill Clinton, Democrat. The Democratic Party supported the 1994 crime bill, which included mandatory minimums, three-strike laws, and increased prison funding. Though bipartisan in support, critics argue it disproportionately harmed Black and Latino communities, contributing to the current crisis of mass incarceration. 7. Ties to corporate interests. While both major U.S. parties have corporate ties, Democrats have been criticized for campaign finance practices that conflict with progressive values. Wall Street ties. Many centrist Democrats, including Hillary Clinton, received significant donations from large banks and corporations, leading to criticism from the party's progressive wing for being too aligned with elite interests. 8. Immigration enforcement under Obama, 2009-2017. While advocating for humane immigration reform, the Obama administration also presided over record numbers of deportations. Deporter-in-chief. Critics on both the left and right noted that over 3 million people were deported, raising questions about the gap between Democratic rhetoric and policy. Conclusion: the Democratic Party, like any long-standing political organization, has evolved dramatically over time. While it is often associated today with progressive causes, its historical record includes serious missteps and moral failings, from defending slavery to enforcing segregation and passing harsh crime laws. Many of these policies were later repudiated or reformed within the party itself, often due to pressure from civil rights movements, grassroots activists, and internal reformers. Understanding these historical criticisms is essential, not to vilify, but to remain vigilant, informed, and committed to accountability and justice in any political movement.